Yellow once again. Unable to make a concise video, gamer here, otherwise known as That's No Moon. And these Gear 13, so this series of videos was meant to be like a concise little look at what happened when you Gear 13 a character to hopefully allow you to make a better informed decision as to whether you want to Gear 13 them or not. But yeah, unfortunately, this now has turned into more of an in-depth look at a character, which is fine. I don't mind doing that. Again, this series was originally meant for sort of beginner to intermediate players who might be looking at their first maybe 5 Gear 13s, and other characters maybe off the beaten path as well that probably have some use in the modern day game at the time of writing as well, which is March 2020. So today we're going to be having a look at Bossk and a little bit more so. So where would we use Bossk? Now Bossk is, I think, one of the more underrated Gear 13s. He's a bit of a beast at Gear 12 anyway. If you've got his ship, again, this is probably one of the best ships in the game in terms of tanks, until something else comes out. You can use him light side in like rebel fleets. You can use him pretty much anywhere. You can use him with under a Thrawn lead. You can use him in like dark side territory battles, and he'll pretty much, you've got to get pretty unlucky to lose him, and allowing you to be able to get through most of those ship missions. But yeah, in terms of, I mean, at the moment, he's obviously used in bounty hunters, has the bounty hunter tag. But in terms of where he would be used, so there's a few, so Gear 13 Bossk, so there's a few lineups that you can use him in. You can use him as the leadership, and his leadership is actually very nice. I actually really like his leadership. I'll just head on over. Completely drawn a blank on what it is, but it is a nice leadership anyway. On the hunt. So all bounty hunters gain 50% max protection and 50% tenacity. So probably we want to mod him more for protection than health, I'd imagine. 100% defense while at full health though, and whenever so the longer we've got protection on him, the more he's going to have full 100% defense. Whenever an enemy suffers or a debuff or resists, all bounty hunters allies recover 5% health and protection. So there's an argument for splitting it a little bit of both. When Bossk is in the leader, so you've got to deal damage to the weakest enemy 10 times, and then all bounty hunter allies gain 50 speed for the rest of their battle, and their payouts are activated. So if you've got Django, let's say in that bounty hunter team, his payout is their damage immunity and 50% offense, which is huge. So there is a few different ways that you can run him. Lead is very popular. You can run him under that Django lead, and the Django lead is like, I haven't got a Zeta on the Django lead, but I'm half tempted. So scoundrel allies have plus 30% or 30 speed, and then enemies have minus 20% potency for each debuff on all bounty allies, and minus 40% tenacity. And you've got to activate his, you've got to damage a debuff enemy 20 times. But I'm sure, yeah, damage a debuff enemy 20 times is a little bit easier than focus fire on Bossk's leadership. But I do like that plus 50% offense under Bossk. So Bossk, obviously he has his ship. This is incredible. You're going to gain on that as well. So it's going to make Bossk's ship much, much harder to get through. With the gear pieces, it wasn't too bad, fairly standard. These pieces aren't too bad. They're not shared by a huge amount of characters. There are a few important ones there, like clones. But other than that, Shaq T maybe, Jedi Training Rey, First Order Executioner. But actually, I think Bossk is a very underrated Gear 13 character. In terms of where, so lineups, as I said, you would probably look at that. If you want to split your Django, so your Django, you might want to stick him in your Separatist squad, because again, that's going to, I mean, ideally what you want is between bounty hunters and between Separatists, you want them to use rebels somewhere against them, because you need DPS to get through Separatists. Separatists will ruin your day very, very quickly. You need like a big bang for your buck, and rebels works perfectly there. Also, rebels works very well against Gear 13 Bossk and bounty hunters. So what are the sort of so before coming on to the counters, I'll just go through the lineups. So if you do want to split your Bossk and Django up, then obviously you might have a look at Zam, you might have a look at Embo. My Embo's pretty bad, but he's actually a very, very good character. Separatists there, you might want to split in terms of, so that just gives you an example of if you wanted to split your Django and have your bounty hunters, that will kind of be your lineup anyway. There are a few you can play with. Cad Bane's pretty good with his stun as well. 3v3 as well. Now these characters are incredibly important because you need a huge amount of DPS to get through Bossk, and you also need to kill Django and Boba Fett twice, remember. I think you need the Zeta on Boba Fett for that. Oh no, you don't. It recovers his full protection as well. So, but in 3v3, you can actually split your Bossk and your Django. Again, Dengar's going to put a huge amount of survivability on them by regenning health and protection. And so there's plenty of debuffs in that middle squad there. Down south, then you can have Django lead, you can have a taunt, you can have like a character like Young Han as well. But I mean, the scoundrel faction is like incredibly I mean, you can even split two sets of bounty hunters if you really wanted to, which is really good. What are they susceptible to? Well, Palpatine at low level, correct. They anything under sort of gear 12, Palpatine can quite easily take these out. Thrawn is always a fairly quick character, so speed on Bossk is particularly important, and getting him out the gates quickly. Again, you're not going to be able to get rid of that fracture, but you might be able to survive a little bit to get through it. Jedi Training Rey, now there's multiple variations of this squad. I mean, even a Gear 13 just Bossk, Gear 12 will take them down no problem at all. So having maybe Django and Bossk at Gear 13 is going to resist this counter, hopefully. Rebels, as I said, particularly susceptible to. General Anakin and Malak, you do run the risk of having like a solo if you put out mediocre bounty hunters, but it is a very, very popular counter. So without further ado, let's get into it. I think I have chatted long enough. We've had nearly 8 minutes of chatting about Bossk, where to use him, and why I think he's any good. So what does his gear piece do? So it adds strength. So brilliant, that's going to give him more health and protection. So strength is pretty much physical damage, health and armor as well. At the moment, I have him around about 100k health and protection, but with a remod, I'm going to be looking at solely protection primaries, I would have thought. Speed, I'll try and up that a little bit. Crit damage, not too bothered about that. Potency, not too bothered about that. Tenacity, you do see a lot of people running very high tenacity Bosks. That will stop you, well, that will stop the Empire counter. However, it will not stop a fracture. It will not really stop a Jedi Training Rey, because I think Termi is irresistible. First Order as well, stun is irresistible. So if they can get out the gates quickly, I don't. First Order is a soft counter. I don't particularly like running First Order against bounty hunters. I think you can run into trouble quite quickly against them. Health Steal, that'll probably go up. His damage is okay. Armor is okay at 42 as well. So yeah, let's apply it. And I don't feel like I really did Django justice in the last one, so we'll see if we can have a little play around, and apologies for that, because I really do think Django is incredible. I've actually got Django up to relic level 3. I've remodded him as well, and he's now up to like 6,250 offense, so he really is hitting hard at the moment. So I don't feel like I did him justice, so apologies for that. I will try and sort of play a little bit more with that and try and get you some good footage. So we're going to get 8 speed, that's key. Getting Bossk quick is key. Damage and penetration, not so important. Potency, he's got a stun with his with that, I think. and stun them for 1 turn. So potency is useful, or a useful byproduct. Tenacity, plus 16 tenacity. Now this is great, as I've just been talking about tenacity, being able to resist debuffs as well, incredible. So that's all very, very useful stuff, actually. Pretty relevant, except probably crit chance and probably damage. So let's go ahead and do it. Let's upgrade. Okay. So let's get this first level. Pretty cool relic, actually, the micro grenade launcher. So his mastery is strength. So he's going to have armor, which is great. Health steal, which is always good for longevity. Protection, again, we're going to be focusing solely on protection here. So ding, let's take one of those. See how we can get up on these. I think I'll be able to get him to relic level 2. I don't think I'll be able to get him to 3 today. But it's a very significant bump there. 5,200 health extra. And armor's 1.7 as well. Agility growth, so his armor's also growing there. Tactics, his resistance. So again, his armor in the bottom, strength, tank, mastery, health steal, and protection as well. So this is all pretty good stuff. So with that huge bump in health, we're now looking at around about 133,000. So it's gone up by 30% roughly, in terms of just popping that first gear on gear 13. Tenacity now hugely has gone to 83%. Health steal's gone up a little bit, and where's armor? Armor's now 48, so much better in terms of resisting that physical damage. Resistance, yeah, 37 using special damage. So again, characters like Talzin, he's still liable for, but not many people tend to like. Special damage is a little bit odd. I think Asajj is the only one who actually has a mix of physical and special damage. I could be wrong though. So I'm going to pause it here. I'm going to have a remod and have a look if I can get a better set of mods on him. Speed is always good, but it's not always playing to his strength. So I'll see what I can come up with now. Okay, so just move that out the way. So here's probably a mod set that I will go with for the moment. So we can see from 130,000 it now goes to like 150,000 speed, even though I've got no speed mods on, speed primaries. I can get it to 270. Under a Django lead, that'll be 300, so that'll get quite dangerous. There won't be a huge amount of Thrawns that will be able to go before he gets his special off. Potency hasn't changed really. Tenacity's gone down a little bit, but I'm willing to sacrifice a little bit of tenacity for speed. Damage has gone down a little bit. Not too bothered about that. Armor has gone up, which is great. And resistance has gone up, which is great as well. So I'm pretty happy with that mod set at the moment. So I'm going to confirm that. Borrowed a few here and there. And also his ship will now have got better as well. So remember, this is a twofer, and this is a ship worth getting relics on as well. So yeah, definitely worth doing. Nowhere near that at the moment, but over the course of the next couple of days I should be able to get him to 3, no problem. I would like to sort of get Bossk and Django to more like relic level 4 or 5. I think they'd be pretty useful. And Boba Fett will probably maybe be a gear 12 pet project. I don't know at the moment. So I'm going to try and find a good place to showcase these guys as well. Looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with the way he's turned out at gear 13. I think it is worth that remod. I'm not too worried about going 6E on these because a lot of it's going to be protection. The only other thing really I could go for is if I've got protection and then like a very high speed set. So let's say, for example, if I was considering it, right, that's the fastest one. So if I was considering it, it would get me about 11 or 12,000 extra, but I don't like that. I think it's about finding that balance with the speed as well. So I'm going to keep it like that. Right, let me go and showcase these guys, see where is best to show them off. I'll be back in a sec. Okay, so same event, like for like. So Django sort of unremodded. And Bossk at gear level 12 was a little bit underwhelming in this. Hopefully this will highlight the difference. I have had a couple of quick test runs. Ideally, Bossk, they will stun Bossk or target Bossk first. Okay, so we can see there that he's pretty tanky. That initial assault hasn't really done a huge amount. Let's try and inflict some debuffs. I know that they go pretty quickly. But yeah, they're finding it now tough work to get through Bossk. Plenty of AoEs because that's going to regen him. Dengar's coming up, so let's regen again. So this is why I kind of tend to prefer, maybe not IG, but probably Zam. And you can just see that Dengar's, sorry, his health and protection isn't really going anywhere. This now, deal physical damage and to a random enemy. Healing immunity and stagger. Okay, let's go for a biggie. That was a nice hit. And let's get this up. So he dispels debuffs, recovers 50% health, frenzy, and taunts for 3 turns. Yes, let's get some offense up. That's annoying we had buff immunity on Django because we would have had offense up. But let's try and get it through his payout. There we go. So we've got his payout now. I believe that Django sometimes assists with this. So let's see if we can go in here. No, he didn't. But you can see here it's much better in terms of survivability. Rebels will very likely be a big counter here. So again, these are big DPSs. Got to get through Django twice, got to get through Boba Fett twice, and you've got to get through Bossk once. Remember, this is the absolute hardest event we found for a long time with bounty hunters. And yeah, they seem to be holding up pretty well. No debuffs out there, so let's just go Rebel Leia. But yeah, nice. Really do like these. Nice hit, 60,000. When that extra offense is up from the what's it called, the contract, it's going to get a whole lot harder. So just to show it's not a fluke, again, this feels a lot nicer than when we showcased just Django. You can also stick in Zam if you want to keep IG-88 for elsewhere or a droid lineup. But yeah, for the moment, let's just do it like this. Again, they're really struggling now to AoEs are again big part of this bounty hunter team. So as I said, can highly recommend sticking in AoE characters there because it regens so much health and protection for him. Yep, let's go again. His tenacity coming into play there. There's no strictly debuffs. I don't think that counts as a debuff. Thermal detonator, but let's just 33,000. Nice. Yeah, let's try and get that contract up. Nice. Let's get rid of those goodies. Nice. So there was the assist. But yeah, much easier now in terms of So yeah, fairly confident that I will actually get these guys further up the relic levels. Because I think they're going to be pretty tough. I will try it with a Zam. Zam instead of IG, because I very likely wouldn't be using IG-88. Yeah, so a lot of damage there when he assists as well, or when he gets the assist from bounty hunters. Just going to, for the sake of completion, stick in. Yeah, nice. We got 3-star there. Yeah, you can go Cad Bane. Zam is okay as well. I don't think I've got many mods on her actually. She may well expire first turn. Okay, let's get those AoEs out there. Let's go here, try for a stun, and try and get that contract up. So yeah, let's go. That will give us all regen as well. Any any thermal detonators will give us that back. But yeah, and when you think about this in terms of what this means for 3v3, a lot of it is going to be good night in 3v3. Right, he has a debuff on him. Nice. So yeah, certainly feels a lot easier in terms of this lineup of bounty hunters. 61,000 on a crit there. But yeah, really do prefer these, having both of these at gear 13, Django and Bossk. I think 3v3 this will cause real issues, but it's actually a really nice team as well for dealing with Night Sisters. Night Sisters are always tough to get through, so having Django and plenty, because remember with thermal detonators they won't proc zombies revive either, so that's kind of completely useful in terms of taking those down if you do struggle, or it saves you having to use Padme or Darth Revan or whatever. So yeah, would I recommend Bossk? Yeah, completely. I think he is a very useful character. I think there are a few that I've seen gear 13s around. Mainly the ship guys do it, but I think that he will keep you in good stead in the game. I think he's a great character PvP, PvE as well. Again, you can do that event with sort of lower down, but as I said, that's it just makes sort of like tough work for a lot of teams that they're going to be taking in. So I'll continue to test this team. Again, we'll see how far we can get with it. It is a nice little pet project. Okay, this will be interesting. So we've only got 4 now. No debuffs out there, but let's see if we can like pretty much just get through it. We want to try and get our contract up pretty quickly. So we get 50 speed and we get 35% offense, I think it is. Okay, so this is looking nice. Again, I don't mind him even really being under stun. Let's get rid. Okay, so even here we're looking in pretty bad shape, but we've got plenty of regen. And let's get that taunt up. Let's give our other guys a bit of a breather. Okay, so this is a bit more challenging. There we go. Right, but let's get the regen on the go. Yeah, not invulnerable to them. Okay, so he's got his damage immunity up now. Dengar under stealth. Let's try for Rebel Leia. Nice. I don't think we'll be able to get through a combo of these two. No. But again, it gives them a pretty mean. Yeah, it does give them a pretty mean time of it, even with 4 versus 5 rebels. So let's just go in one more time. Again, remember Zam at much higher level is going to be so much better. Yeah, even like under stealth, it's under stun. There's a huge amount of protection to get through, and there's always going to be that regen. Like, look how much that regenerated there. Again, if he's not under stun, perfect, because he's going to get his contract quicker. So who's now the weakest? Right, this guy. This guy. Okay, here we go. Right, this should bring up our contract now. There we go. Let's go ability block here. Let's get, see, it can very quickly get out of control unless you have that DPS to get through it. It is almost nearly impossible to get through it. As I said, I think this is going to be most useful in 3v3. But unless you can get hold of this team very, very quickly or take in something very, very strong. 77,000, thank you and good night. Then yeah, personally I really, really like them, so I would highly recommend it. Depends what you're doing with the game, I guess. If you're chasing the meta, stay away from bounty hunters. But I find that they're, along with Night Sisters, they're kind of like up there with one of the best B teams in the game. So I've been That So Moon. Again, if you do want to support the channel, see future content, please feel free to leave a like, a comment and a subscribe as well to see future Gear 13 Is It Worth It. Go check out the other ones as well. I've done Jolie Bindo recently. I've done, who else have I done? Brood Alpha. Old Daka was like really nice actually. Droidica, yeah, love that. Jango Fett, love that as well. So as I go on, who am I heading for next? I don't really know. Am I going to get a Zeta on here? I like this one. Enemies defeated on his turn can't be revived. That's pretty nice because he'll hit hard, so it doesn't leave it much to chance. And I don't mind the leader ability as well, but as I said, I'm not going to make that commitment yet. We'll see. I know this this video hasn't strictly been about Bossk, but it's been a lot about Jango as well. But I think they work so well together as well. They work very well individually, but they also work very well as a pairing as well. I've been That Snow Moon. Keep enjoying Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Don't let the rage quit get to you. Again, don't worry too much about hoarding. You can't take the crystals with you when you quit the game anyway, so you may as well spend them. You may as well spend them on something you enjoy, and that's what I'm doing at the moment as well. Anyway, I'll leave you to it. Have a good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world, and it would be great to see you over on the Discord as well, where we chat all things Star Wars Galaxy Hero. I'll leave it in the link in the comment. I'll leave the link in the description below, and it would be great to see you over there as well. Cheers, guys. Have a good day.